What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you guys the big differences between the iPad 2 on the left and the new iPad on the right. Alright, so obviously the biggest difference is probably the Retina display. The iPad on the white iPad over here on the right is the new iPad, like I said before, and the black iPad is the iPad 2. It's really hard for me to show you guys the Retina display on camera, so I definitely suggest going to an Apple store and checking it out. Basically, if you have an iPad 2 already, then the new iPad really isn't that big of an upgrade, in my opinion. You don't really need to be upgrading to it. I obviously did because I am a tech YouTuber, so I like to keep up to date with all the newest tech stuff, so I went ahead and bought it after I sold my iPad 2. But if you already have the iPad 2, then you don't really need to be going out and buying the new iPad, because there's not that many upgrades to it that would make you want to go buy compared to the old one. But some of the biggest ones are the new Retina display, the new processor. The iPad 2 on the right has the A5X processor, when the one on the left only has the A5. Again, not that huge of a difference. Apparently this one has quad-core graphics, not a quad-core processor as most people thought it was, but they're using actually quad-core graphics, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Alright, so first things first, I want to show you guys what the differences are between opening apps and seeing how quick both the iPads are. So I'm going to clear both of the different multitasking. Alright, both are clear, there's nothing left in it. Now I'm going to open up a few apps just to see which one can open up quicker. It is kind of the same. It's really hard to tell, especially because the Wi-Fi is going to be different. But either way, I'm going to be opening up the calendar app now. Okay, and I think the iPad 2 actually beat the the new iPad over here. Alright, and now the next one, let's do the camera app. Alright, so the new iPad was a little bit quicker on that one over there, and I'll be showing you guys the differences between the cameras as well later on in the review. Let's see what else. Let's open up the Photos app. So I'm going to open these up at the same time. Alright, so again, the iPad 2 actually beat it over there, surprisingly. These are two different iPads, so this is my roommate's, this is mine, so we have different configurations altogether, but either way. And just a quick comparison really quick, I'm going to be opening the Temple Run app on both of these iPads. Nothing is running in the background, no multitasking or anything, so it should open up smoothly for both iPads, and you can see which one will open up quicker and load faster than the other one. So let's open both of these up. Alright, and you can see that the new iPad over here is already almost at the loading screen, and it's already ready to play, and then there goes the iPad 2. So you guys can see it's a little bit of a difference, not too much. I guess with the heavier games you definitely see a difference with the loading times, but playing them you're not going to see a huge difference unless you're playing like really heavy graphic intensive games, but I can't really show that on camera because it's hard to compare the two when it's just the game itself. So again, this is just really quick comparison videos of opening up the app itself. Alright, now let's open up Messages app. This will be the last one. Alright, so mine already opened up, and his is not set up or anything like that. So again, there's not a huge difference between the opening the apps and the speed wise. You're really not going to see that big of a difference between the iPad 2 and the new iPad. Between the iPad 1, like the original one, you're going to see a huge difference. So if you do have the iPad 1, I definitely suggest updating to the iPad, the new iPad. It's really friggin' annoying, not just to call it the iPad 3. But anyway, if you have the old iPad, I definitely suggest updating to the new iPad and just overpassing the iPad 2. And now I will show you guys the differences between the two screens. Probably the easiest way to do it is to show you some pictures, because the new iPad has a 40% more, I think it was color saturation, and you can definitely see it when you look at pictures between the two. And I'll show you guys exactly the same picture on both screens, and you guys can definitely be able to tell the difference. Okay, so here's both pictures, exactly the same picture. It's just a wallpaper selection of the iPads, and you can definitely tell. Look how much just nicer that looks over there on the right compared to this on the left. I know it has like those weird things, that's just on the camera, that's not the actual screen, but again, it's doing that on this screen, but not on this screen. I'm not really sure why, probably pixels or something, I don't know. But just try to look at the colors. These colors are just darker and more, just they look nicer than this one. This one's a little bit paler, kind of whitish over here, when it's actually like dark pink over here. Now I'm going to show you guys another picture. Okay, here's another good example. Right down here you guys can see it's pretty dark down here, and over here it's it's turning more orangish, and more yellowish. You know, it just looks nicer on the iPad, the new iPad screen compared to the iPad 2. Okay, here's another example. I had to tilt the screens a little bit because those little lines are bugging me. They're probably bugging you guys too, but here you guys can clearly tell. Look at the color differences between this and but just the colors over here and the lines between the pictures just look so much clearer on the new iPad versus the iPad 2. And here's one more picture for you guys to see. Again, these are all in the wallpaper section, so you guys can check them out if you wanted to. Just the the iPad 2 screen, just again, the colors just look bland and boring. They just pop out on the new iPad screen. They literally just look like they're real on the new iPad screen versus the iPad 2. And again, both of these brightnesses are set to about the same, 100% both right there. So you guys can definitely see the differences between the two screens when it comes to color saturation. Alright, so now loaded both the same YouTube video. They're both loading, as you guys can see the load bar right up there. And I'm just going to show you guys the differences between the color saturation again, between the videos this time, not just photos. So I'm going to play both of these at the exact same time. I'm going to try to, and you guys can be able to see the color differences between the two screens. What's up guys, it's Robo13. I'm going to be unboxing the new iPad 3. Alright guys, so this is the white 16GB Turn
iPad
the
3.
Volume down just a little bit.
You probably can't see it down there.
Alright, so you guys can see the color differences between the two, especially look at the desk. The desk right here is a lot brighter than the one over here. This one's just darker. And the case itself, also, if you look, when I put it back down, it's a lot brighter than the iPad over here. Especially the desk, if you can see the differences between those two. But those are just, oh, look at my arms as well. But they're kind of hard to show on camera, especially with this camera and these setups right now. But you guys just really have to go check it out for yourselves. Now I'm going to do a quick test to see how fast the Wi-Fi is. They're the exact same. They're on the same network, so they should probably be the same. I just want to see if they're different between the two. I'm going to be loading up CNN.com. I cleared the history, cleared the cache, cleared the cookies and everything. So I'm going to hit go at exactly the same time. Hit back on that. Hit go and then let go. And looks like the iPad 2 is a little bit quicker than the new iPad. So, either way, the Wi-Fi chips are exactly the same in both devices, so they shouldn't be that big of a difference. It depends on your Wi-Fi connection. You'll definitely see an upgrade with the 4G network if you bought the iPad with the 4G network with Verizon or AT&T. But with Wi-Fi, you won't really see that big of a boost with the new iPad over the iPad 2. Alright, next I'm going to show you guys videos from both the iPad 2 and the new iPad, both from the camera application, recording from the back-facing camera of both devices, and you guys can compare the differences between those. Alright guys, so here's a video of the iPad 2 with autofocus and my roommate watching TV. Alright, there's outside, down in the quad, I'll try to autofocus on here a little bit, see the differences between the two. I'll try to do the same video on both also. There's my setup, that's what I'm recording at right now, you guys will see that. Alright, and now on to the new iPad. Okay, and this is the new iPad recording. And I will be autofocusing as we go as well. Okay. Try to show the same stuff. The setup, the Cheez-Its box, outside in the quad. Okay. Are you? Again, this is inside, so it'll probably look a little bit better outside, but I don't really feel like going outside right now and walking around with two giant iPads. Alright, so I hope you guys can tell the differences between those. I'm sure you can. They'll be, before this, obviously. So the other big difference is, not really big difference, but, a little bit of difference, is the actual size of the iPad, the new iPad versus the iPad 2. It is a little bit thicker, as you guys can hopefully see right here. I don't know, you probably won't be able to, but it is a little heavier, actually, than the new iPad. Than the old iPad, I mean, the iPad 2. The new iPad is definitely a little bit thicker and heavier. Whoops, now these are flipped upside down. I gotta fix that. Okay, it's fixed. And now, so you guys can, tell the differences between, they're a little bit thicker. The new iPad's a little bit thicker because it has to hold a bigger battery and everything. But, you won't really see that big of a difference. The new iPad does actually fit the old iPad 2 cases because I have a clam case right here that I used it for my iPad 2, if you guys remember that unboxing video. And it actually does fit the new iPad. I'll do a review on the clam case, by the way, later this week. But either way, the thickness differences don't actually matter that much because it does still fit the old iPad 2 cases. Alright, the battery life is the exact same as the iPad 2 and the new iPad. The battery on the new iPad is actually a little bit bigger than the iPad 2 because it does have to power the Retina display. Again, that's why it's a little bit thicker. It took me about 4.5 hours though to charge this from 0 to 100%, and only about 2 hours to charge this from 0 to 100%. I charged both of them, and I also did my iPhone. My iPhone 4 took about 2 hours as well to charge from 0 to 100%. Just some comparisons for you guys. So it does take a little bit longer to charge this, but not as long as people thought it would be. The battery in this is 70% bigger than the battery in this one, but it did not take 70% longer the amount of time. It's not that big of a difference, especially with the bigger battery, but you still do get the full 10-hour battery life. I've been using this for like 2 days straight, and it's only at 50% right now, so it's even better than that. This one's charging right now, as you guys can see. But either way, those are the big differences between the batteries. I already have a quick comparison video between the two iPads. Camera, I have a few pictures and a few videos for you guys. I already did a video on that. If you haven't seen that, I'll post links in the description. There'll be an annotation right around there for it. It just shows a quick comparison. It'll show more videos and more photos for you guys to see. I won't put any photos in this video because there's no point since I already did it in the other one. So if you guys want to see a big comparison between the two cameras, check out that video first. But that's really just about it. There's not many differences between the new iPad and the iPad 2 besides, the Retina display, the A5X processor, and the cameras between the two. So there's not huge differences. Again, if you have the iPad 2, it's not really worth the upgrade to the iPad 3 in my opinion, or the new iPad. I'm just going to call it the iPad 3. It's easier. But if you have the iPad 1, or if you're just getting into iPads or tablets, I would definitely suggest the new iPad for you guys because it's only $499 versus the $399 iPad 2. It's just a $100 upgrade to the better screen, the better camera, and the better graphics card. So I would definitely suggest getting that if you have the iPad 1 or if you don't have a tablet at all. But again, if you have the iPad 2, just stick with your iPad 2 until the next big iPad comes out next year. There's really no point in upgrading to the iPad 3 just yet. So if you guys like this video, if you did, please hit the like button down there. It only takes you guys a second. It helps me out a ton. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button right up there because there'll be a ton of new videos on the iPad 3. I'll be having a clam case review, which is the keyboard case you guys have seen in the other videos for me. A bunch of you guys have asked what that is, so I'll be doing an in-depth review of that for the new iPad 3. If you don't follow me on Twitter, just go ahead and click that link down there and you can follow me on that. I'll post all my updates to that. You guys can get this probably faster than any of my YouTube videos that I post on here. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.